if I traded it all.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Happy Friday. We're live on Facebook with everyone out there. If like us also on Facebook and follow us as well. I'm going to go right in with my first guest. He's been on with me at least a couple of years now. I have with me David Fischer. He's the CEO of Landmark Capital. I got to talk a little bit about what's going on and how everybody should be very, very weary of what's going on in the world today. And I love when I have you on because you are all about educating the public. It's what it's all about for you.
You know, we should be concerned about our money because we have a saying, if you take care of your money now, Carol, it's going to be there down the road to take care of you. And that's really the whole idea of investing. Why we invest for a later date, not for immediate gratification necessarily.
Now, you want to talk a little bit about you, okay? Because I know I normally have you on Tuesdays, and now we came on one Friday, and this is another Friday that I have you on. I want other people to hear you because different people listen different times and different days. So for all of you that have not heard of David, you want to hear a little bit about what he does.
Well, obviously, I'm fairly new to your Friday program, but I'm not new to the radio.
No,
I've been doing radio for quite some time. Currently, around 3 million people hear me on a national level, over 800 stations every week. This Saturday, I'm going to be on national television. 21 million viewers will be have the chance to tune in.
Very exciting.
Out of New York. And the same things that we talk about on your program, I'm going to be talking about, as I always do, on a national level. The concern I have is the obviously of the debt, and that's what's coming out in the news now. Even just today, there's people who are very well respected talking about the debt. So what I do is I educate people on the economics, what's happening behind the scenes, what is the government doing to facilitate and take care of our debt, or are they doing anything? How does the Federal Reserve work into this whole magic of protecting and growing your money? What do they do that either has a positive or a negative effect? Because they spoke this last week too. So I watch those economics and I boil it down to simplicity, talk to people and help people understand, because we believe if you can help a person understand their money, they can take charge of their money better than anyone else can. But let's make it simple for them. And so that's what I do when I go on the radio, come on your program and on a national level, and talk about how simple really this is, and so they can make good decisions to diversify in the asset classes that we think is important to own.
Now, we also want to get out, too, that you're not a financial advisor. It's not
Correct.
about that in any way, though gold is your specialty.
Correct.
And, when I listen to you, and I've said to you many times, I don't care what's going on in the market. As far as I'm concerned, I would want to be in control of my money no matter what.
In 25 years, I probably have been asked 1,000 times if I'm a financial planner, and the answer always is no. I don't have the special letters behind my name, but I have a lot of experience in being in the markets for this long, and I really talk about economics, and gold is a portion of the answer to that, but it's not the only thing. Just like not having 100% of your money in stocks is the right equation either.
Okay, now tell them what to do. Tell them what's a good thing that you have offered, because you've made it affordable to do. So listen up, everyone.
Well, a lot of people have seen that you can roll over your 401k and your IRA into physical gold and silver. And some of them have not realized that you can actually take possession of that. And that's something I've been doing. Retirements I've been doing since 2001, and I've been in the industry since 1993. But in the last 6 years, I've been doing retirements where you can own physical gold and take possession of it, hold it in your hands, not in a depository in Delaware or in Brinks in Utah, but in your own hands without a tax liability. And we've used a lawyer that I've done thousands of these through that is very cost effective. The competitors, their legal fees are somewhere between $9.95 to $19.95, and the lawyer I'm using here in Phoenix, if you're in Phoenix, it's $350. We're on a national level, so if you're, like right now, I'm working on an individual out of Kansas. I'm just going to go and talk to him here 30 minutes from now after I'm done with the show, and his fee for out of state is $385. So significantly cost effective compared to most of my competitors.
And so obviously you can help anyone nationwide.
Correct.
And what I've always said is I want to have that money in my hand. I love that idea of having that. So many people, I don't understand people. They will go ahead and be on television, they'll see an ad,
yeah,
and they'll call that, and they'll give their money, right?
Sure.
to something that they're not even going to be able to hold, and they'll do that in 2 seconds.
And we can.
Why is that?
Well, because they
see it on TV. So
they see it on TV, and so TV is credibility. It brings a sort of instant credibility to that person. That's one reason and the most smallest reason of all, that why I'm on a national level on television. Also, being on TV doesn't bring you any more credibility than not being on TV. It's what you're talking about, and are you a trustworthy person that has integrity, and the things that you're saying, can they be proven? So I put together some white papers for people. One is on how you physically roll over your IRA and buy physical gold and silver and take it and put it in your hands without a tax liability. I have a white paper on it, so that it's all documented what the IRS says about it. I have a white paper on a bail-in. Why is our country moving in the footsteps of 9 other countries to take care of our national debt that now just went past the 20 trillion mark? Why is our country moving towards seizure of wealth, which is what 9 countries have already done? And what mechanisms have we set up to facilitate that? And so I put together a white paper that's now, it's actually going to come out in its 7th edition. Right now it's the 6th edition.
He does a lot of research.
Yeah, and so people get this, and I've had, just even this last week, I've had 7 people say to me, I Googled what you wrote in there, and I was amazed. Nobody's talking about this. How did you even come about this? I said, well, I just saw the model happening in Europe, and I thought, I hope we're not doing it, and started doing some research, and I got to find out that, yeah, we're following in the same footsteps, and we've gone 10 times further in setting it up in America. We haven't pulled the trigger yet, than all the other 9 countries combined. So they're doing it for a reason. Will they pull the trigger or not? I don't know, but they got to take care of our debts somehow, either through inflation, and that's what the Fed is talking about now, or through this new unfortunate way of seizing people's money called a bail-in.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do is give out his information, and they're waiting there. They're there to help you. The office number is 602-287-9200. You can also get their free monthly newsletter that's coming out. That's the September one that's there right now, which is which came first, the chicken or the egg? We'll have to check that. Is all the information on the website?
It will be coming out. They can get it by email, but they also can pick it up on the website.
Okay.
It comes out next week.
That website is landmarkgold.com. Though all of this information, which is, I think, what everybody should do is just get the information from them. Let them talk to you. They do free consultations. One of the nicest couple that I know, you and your wife, what I love about you really is that you're so forthcoming. You're all about honesty and helping just people understand. That's all it is. There's no obligation whatsoever to work with them. So, but they do want to talk to you. The number to call is 602-287-9200. Okay, so I have left us a couple of minutes, okay? So obviously we understand that there's obviously there's a good reason why people should buy gold. Has gold gone up compared to the Dow this year? What is going on with it?
It's about even. The gold is a little bit more than the Dow this year by about 1%. And I said on your very program here in this studio in January and February, I said, watch, this year we're going to see gold go up while the Dow is going up. And a lot of people said, well, how can that be? Doesn't it usually go opposite? When the Dow goes up, gold goes down. And I said, not this year. And there's been other times in history where gold has gone up and the Dow has gone up, both bull markets at the same time. And clearly we're in a bull market in the Dow, and gold has outperformed the Dow slightly this year, and it probably will end up at the end of the year slightly higher than the Dow, percentage-wise.
Get the information. He's got his white paper. He's going to tell you exactly how you can take possession of your gold in hand, which I think everyone should do. And he can help anyone nationwide. Their number there at the office, they're there to help you. They're going to go ahead and give you the free consultation. Again, it's a no-obligation consultation. You can get the newsletter that's coming up. It's which came first, the chicken or the egg. Get the information and learn all about this at 602-287-9200. And the website is landmarkgold.com. That's landmarkgold.com, or call them at 602-287-9200.
If I traded it all, if I gave it all
Welcome back, everyone. We're talking with David Fischer, and he is the CEO of Landmark Capital. We were talking a little bit before we went on a break about money, gold, and how it's gone up. So compared to the Dow, this year we were saying, so what's been going on since earlier?
So let's take a look at the big picture. We saw the short-term picture. Stocks have gone up about 104% since year 2000. And gold during the same period of time has gone about 395%. So gold has outperformed the Dow, not quite a 4-to-1 since year 2000. There's a reason for that, and that's why we're in a bull market in gold still. Debt is a killer of any financial picture. Anytime you have too much debt and it's unmanageable, it's going to affect your financial future.
We should all know that, really.
we do know that, but we ignore it. We tend to go through times of being influenced by the advertisements and the Fed and governments because they've been expanding their debt to expand the economy. See, if the Fed wouldn't have expanded their debt here by buying all these mortgage-backed securities, and the government wouldn't have not gone further into debt, the economy wouldn't have been expanded. So the economy now has moved from before year 2000, actually a couple decades before that, we've moved into a debt environment where we expand our livelihood, our style of living based upon debt. But at some point in time, it's going to come and catch us. And that's what the underlying problem is that the now Fed is facing and the government is starting to face, where we can't get this debt under control. I saw this last week for the first time. Actual congressmen and senators say there is no way we can get out of debt anymore as a country. I've never heard that before. I've heard them talk about the debt problem, but I've never heard them say it is now mathematically impossible. The only way we can get out of it, the only way is by growing the supply side. In other words, increasing the spending of the government to create new jobs. Yeah.
Okay.
To create new jobs so we can get the economy moving faster than 3% growth annually, so that hopefully we can get more jobs to create more revenue to the country to pay down the debt we're in. It sounds good in theory, but Reagan tried to do it, and my dad served with Reagan. I love Reagan. He ballooned the debt 4 times, but he created a massive amount of jobs. So something's going to give, and that's what the Federal Reserve is now wishy-washy all this last week, Carol. They made an announcement. They're supposed to raise rates this last week. They chose not to because it's not good for stocks. But they're probably going to raise rates December because 11 out of the 16 board members of the Fed said we're going to raise rates in December. And 12 out of the 16 board members said we're going to have 3 rate hikes next year. So get ready for higher interest rates. And they also said we're going to unwind the Fed's balance sheet. What is that? $4.5 trillion of debt the Fed bought since 2009.
So it's just more.
It's just more, but they're getting rid of it. Here's the key. Somebody at the end of the day has to hold the dollar, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's either going to be foreigners, U.S. citizens, or central banks. Central banks since 2005 have been backing away from holding our debt, evidenced by China used to hold $8.2 trillion in 2005 of treasuries, and now they hold $3.5 trillion. Okay, so they've been selling our treasuries and been buying gold. They had no gold in 2005 prior to that, and now they have somewhere around 3,500 tons of gold. So somebody has to hold our debt because right now, according to the last month's figures, we have a budget deficit with you amortize it over a year is $1.38 trillion. We're spending more a year than we're taking in taxes, in revenue. So it's a mathematical thing that we are upside down as a country. So this is how they're going to deal with the upside down. They're going to inflate our way out of this by raising interest rates. What does that do to the stock market? High rates. Think back in time, the 70s, or anytime rates go up, it costs businesses to operate more. They have more overhead. They have less profit. Higher rates affects the cost of living. It's worse for the economy. But the Fed has to raise rates to attract new money.
Right.
Because you have to entice people to hold the Treasury because rates are artificially low. So what are they going to do to attract new money? raise rates. That's why they're going to raise them 3 times next year. Once they start this rate hike process, they're not going to end it for 3 or 4 years, though. They got to get to normalized rates, which is 3.5 to 5.3%. So we're at 1% now. We got to raise it probably.
So they raise it a little bit so we don't feel it as much.
Exactly. It's the frog in the kettle slightly raising the temperature, and pretty soon we're going to be cooked. So what's going to happen is they're going to actually induce inflation eventually, not next year, but probably in 2 years we're going to have an inflationary environment. And you heard me talk about this person, Jim Rogers, before. 4 months ago, he's very well respected. He's a billionaire. There's 17 billionaires that have said this year that the market is overvalued. We're going to go through a correction. It's going to happen between now and the next 2 years. They're very well respected people. Jim Rogers is one of them. He said 4 months ago, he's 74 years old. He's the guy that wears the funny colored bow ties, okay?
Okay,
You've seen him on.
Yeah.
He's very well respected. He said 4 months ago, we're going to have the worst crashes we've ever had in his lifetime. This last week, he said that global debt will cause pain in the stock markets. I'm quoting him. He says, get ready. It's at the level of debt across the globe economies have never seen before. What he's telling people to do is don't buy ETFs, because people think that if I buy an ETF, I'll be protected. He says, no, there's way too many people in ETFs. He said, buy undervalued stocks. This is how you protect yourself. He's saying this is the solution to protect yourself. Buy undervalued stocks right now, if you can find them. Most of them are overvalued. And buy gold. He's not a gold guy, but he's saying about gold that it is going to become very, very, very overpriced, but right now it's underpriced.
So now's the time to do it.
Here you have a billionaire who's predicting, along with 17 other billionaires, and about half of them have said buy gold, get some gold in the portfolio. He's one of them, and he says it's an undervalued asset. So as we move forward, inflation comes, gold moves up. In the 70s, gold went up 500% and stocks went down. Why? Because we had interest rate hikes in the 70s. So get ready for a new environment. I don't think we're going to have interest rates at the 70s, but we're going to have inflation because that's how they're going to deal with our debt.
I also want to say, you're not about all glue and doom. I mean, I know it's
about being diversified.
Really, yeah, exactly. Again, not all to put all your money into that. This is what he's saying, is to protect yourself because this could happen.
Exactly. Well, it's going to happen.
Well,
we will have a stock market correction. It's not a matter of if,
right.
It's a matter of
but
when.
There's some people that are going to decide whether they want to do this or not, right? No matter what. So here's the thing. The paper that you have, the white paper that he has, it's all documented. Everything that he has, he's written several of them. You've got another one just coming out.
Correct.
Also, again, I want you to tell them how that they can easily do this, where they can take possession of their gold and have it in hand, that you can hold it and touch it. Go ahead.
You know, if you want to diversify your IRA and not be 100% in stocks, you want to diversify it into gold, you can do that by working with our company, and they can roll a portion of that, transfer it over, and take possession of their gold without having a tax liability. So now you have a diversified portfolio, because if 2008 repeats itself, and a lot of people are saying it's going to be worse than 2008. These are billionaires that are saying this. Gold went up 72% in 2009 while stocks were lagging along. So why gold has gone up 4 times as much as the Dow is because we live in a debt structure now. So until they deal with the debt, and the dealing of debt will cause gold to go up, once we get on the other side of it, then gold will become overvalued. But right now it's undervalued.
And you help people nationwide.
Absolutely.
He does free consultations. Tell them how much it is. It's very affordable just to do.
If they're going to do an IRA and roll that over, it's $385 out of state, $350 in the state.
And what he would like to, is everybody to at least call their office. They have people there that are standing by that will help you. They do these free consultations. It's no obligation whatsoever to work with them. They just want to talk to you about what they feel, what you've learned and what you've researched and found. It's all substantiated, and get the white paper from them. You can also get their newsletter, which is also coming up, which is which came first, the chicken or the egg. You can go on their website and check them out. It's landmarkgold.com. gold.com. The office number is 602-287-9200. What are your final words?
You know, this is about diversifying, not having all your eggs in one basket. And that's what a good, well-balanced portfolio is. If people sense that there's something they didn't really fix 2008, and that's kind of gnawing at them in their gut or their spirit, then get diversified, because gold is not the only solution, but cash is important. Having some money on the sidelines, not 100% in stocks, that's a recipe for disaster. That's why we talk about diversification, because they're going to take care of our debt some way, and this is where gold shines.
Get the information. That's what all it's going to do, is let you find out what it is that he's talking about. You can see all of it. It's all substantiated. Again, he can help anyone nationwide. The office number is 602-287-9200. It's landmarkgold.com.